Doing things more than once sucks. We all know that. We don't want to model things again if we already did it. And thankfully, we don't have to do that in Plasticity because it's got a handy mirror tool. So today we're going to see how to use the mirror tool and also see what to do if things go wrong. So to start with, let's pick the most obvious thing. So I'm going to remove half of this armor. And the way the mirror tool works is that if you have nothing on the other side of the axis on which you mirror, it's automatically going to pick that. So I'm going to hit Alt X and then X again because it's the red axis. And either of these two is fine in this case because again, there is nothing on the other side and bam, it's going to do that. Now, obviously the downside of this is that you cannot preview that unlike Blender. And I hope maybe down the line at some point, we will see a mirror modifier so that we can just edit and see in real time. So that's number one. But what if it's just one object? Well, what if I apply a change to one side? Let's see, something like this. Maybe I want it a little more pointy. So I select the object and again, Alt X. By the way, notice that this only works in this case if it's being mirrored across the origin, because that's my pivot. We're going to see in a second what to do if it's not in the origin, if the object is not at the origin. So if I hit X now, you see it's being mirrored on this side. However, if I hit Shift X, this other side is being mirrored. So depending on which of these two you want to mirror, that is going to affect the other side. Usually the side you want mirrored is the one where you have to click. And obviously this works on XYZ equally. But you're going to notice that if I do this, the object is now split in two. So if I do that, it is being split. So if you already did it and it's being split, you hit QQ with both selected and it's going to fuse the two objects, or go back, Alt X and X again, because I want this to be a little more carved in. Then I'm going to hit Q now, which is union merge halves together, and OK. And that's done in one passage. Pretty neat. But as I said, what if the object is not at the origin? Because this thing is not at the origin. So if I want this indent here to also be on this other side, and I do Alt X, X, well, you see it's just adding it to the other side of this robot. So what can I do? Well, I can select two opposing faces, kind of like you do in Fusion, if you're familiar with that. So I select this and this, hit space, and then click on this temporary construction plane so that it saves it here. Now I've got a bunch of them, but this is custom plane 9, and I go out of it. What I'm going to do is select the whole object again and click this custom plane 9. Now you will see that there is a new plane at the origin. So I'm going to hit Alt X, and you're going to see something a little different than before because the red X axis is now in this direction. So if I do that, it's going to mirror this strange thing. So I don't want that. Instead, I'm going to click the blue one. It's probably Z, and it is Z. So the blue one is Z, the green is Y, and the red is X. And hit enter again, but not before I also hit Q so that this is merged. And that's it. Now, sometimes it might happen that if you're mirroring something, you will do it on the wrong axis. So if I hit Alt X and then I accidentally hit one of the other axes without noticing, maybe you're used to using Alt X and then X again, this will happen. Now, be very careful because you cannot undo this, or rather you cannot take it back to how it was. So you have to Control Z so that it goes back to the previous state. Be extremely careful. Now, obviously in this case, it's obvious, but sometimes it might not. So if I mirror this and I do Shift Z, now this gets removed. And if I don't notice that, I'm going to go ahead and continue modeling, and that's going to be completely lost. Obviously, make sure you also every single time check for the split in the middle, and if it's there, QQ again to merge the two halves. And once you're done, you click this X to exit the custom plane, and you are back to the origin. So now we can mirror that and create another one. This is extremely useful, especially in the case of a mech like this, because you can literally create a whole mech, or just model half of the mech or half of the limbs and then mirror to the other side. All right, that's it for today's video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe for more. As always, this is Nemo, and I'm gonna catch you next time. Take care.